This is our May 2022 wrap-up. Now, usually I am in the scene. However, school's out, everybody's home, and I'm just trying to find time to batch record some of these videos so that I can get them on the channel. As I mentioned, my girls are out of school now. To celebrate the end of the year, we took a little weekend trip to Bisbee, Arizona on Memorial Day weekend. Bisbee, Arizona is a historical mining town, and it's located at the southeast corner of Arizona, about an hour and a half outside of Tucson and about 25 minutes away from Tombstone, Arizona. It is also about 10 miles away from the Mexican border. Bisbee was once one of the richest mineral sites in the world, and at one time was actually the largest city between St. Louis and San Francisco. Now, Bisbee, Arizona is said to have the best year-round climate in the world. They have a lot of in-the-world claims in Bisbee, Arizona, I've noticed. So it was a mining town, and the mines closed in 1975. After the mines closed, Bisbee was just left. It was just kind of abandoned. So a lot of artists and hippies found their way to Bisbee as the housing was super, super cheap. So they bought up a lot of the old buildings and the homes, and they began to restore and redesign Bisbee to what it is today. So Bisbee is an official mile-high city. It actually sits at 5,300 feet, which is slightly higher in elevation than Denver, Colorado, and is located in a valley. And this valley is just so pretty. It's surrounded by these beautiful Victorian style homes, these little wood homes, and they're all colorful, and it's an eclectic mix of businesses. And the way that the buildings are designed, it has a very European style feel to the city. Now, in the main drag area of the historical area, I call it a drag area, it's really not a drag area, but in the main area of the historical downtown area, there are Christmas lights that are strung back and forth across the street. So at night, it is lit up with these Christmas lights all year long, not just at Christmas time, but all year long. These lights are on, and it just looks so cute. There are no such things as like McDonald's or Starbucks. Instead, this little town is just filled with art studios and antique stores and street musicians and local eateries. It does have its fair share of bars for nightlife. Now, the little towns around here often have these little catchphrases for the town itself. So Bisbee is referred to as the town too high to care, and also Mayberry on acid. So that may give you an idea of the town and the funkiness of it. So now what I love about it is that there's funky art everywhere, murals everywhere, and the homes in Bisbee, they didn't mow down the city to fit the homes. The homes are fitting into this hillside, which is Bisbee, and everything was created when there weren't cars, so the streets are extremely narrow. Also, there is a famous, I don't want to say race, a challenge every year in October. It is called the Bisbee 1000. So the Bisbee 1000 is a 4.5 mile course that takes you through 9 staircases throughout the city and 1,000 stairs. It is a crazy race that kind of leads you through the city, through the stairs, through some alleyways, and I hear that it draws quite the crowd. So now this is our second visit to Bisbee, and the second time that we stayed at the gardens at Mile High Ranch. I just love this place so much. The owners, Rick and Henry, are so nice. They make you feel at home. It is not a big place. They will be there to lend you flashlights, whatever you need. They're so kind to you. Now, we've stayed in the same suite twice, and you walk in, it has like a little living room area. It has a table and a couple of chairs, a small kitchenette type area on one side, a bathroom, and then you walk through a little hall and there is a bedroom with 2 beds. For us, it's perfect. It works out really well. Now, the couch in the living room pulls out to a double or a full-size bed as well. I'm able to cook our meals, and the kitchen is well stocked, has a TV, so we were were able to binge on Stranger Things all weekend long, and it has plenty of areas outside. So I was able to go outside, do some meditation. I was able to do some yoga. We were able to sit by the pond and just relax. I did try to do a walkthrough of a deck there, but the winds were kicking up and there was no way I was going to place my cards down and have them blown away by the wind. It just was not going to happen. This location that we stayed at is just a short 5-minute drive from the historic area of Bisbee. We attended 2 tours while we were in Bisbee, and each telling a very different story of the history of Bisbee. Both contain some really dynamic energies that I work with, so both of the tours were well worth it. The first tour was the Queen Mine Tour. This tour is an authentic mining tour, and it's one of the largest copper mines in the world. So you go in with a flashlight in hand, you put on a hard hat, a vest, and you jump on this little mine train and descend down about 1,500 feet into one section of the mine. The tour guide actually worked in the mines for 19 years, up until the time that they closed in 1975. When you walk into the lobby, they had this beautiful display or displays of some of the beautiful crystals that were mined locally there in Bisbee, including azurite, malachite, hemimorphite, calcite, copper, gold, silver. It was just beautiful. All of them were for sale. It wasn't like a museum. They did have a little gift shop, and they were extremely affordable. But it was so interesting to see how they mined these precious metals and to hear how they mined the precious metals, and just thinking about the way that these men worked in these mines. It was just some scary business there. Our second tour was the Old Bisbee Ghost Tour. This is a 1.5-hour walking tour that guides you through the streets and also guides you up the alleyways and through the stairs, as you learned about the more spirited history of Bisbee and the guests that never left. There is so much history in this town, especially with it being a mining town. They only feed you a little bit of the history. If you really want to dig deep on both of these subjects of the mine and the more spirited side of Bisbee, it doesn't take much work. Once you go online, you can find a lot of information about the mines and about the spirits. Both very good tours. Let's get to the VRs. I did 2 VRs in the month of May. One was a VR to Candy, Soul, and Soil, which was top 10 curiosity decks. This was such a fun VR. It was all about the things that you would put in your cabinet of curiosities. After I posted the video, I thought about at least 5 to 6 decks that really should have been in that video, but it was too late. It's up, it's there. And also, there is a shop right here in Phoenix that is called Curious Nature, and I really should have included that video within that VR, because this store is just fantastic and strange. They have all kinds of ethically sourced taxidermy, skulls, bones, exotic plants, and collectibles. So if you're looking to fill your cabinet of curiosities, this is definitely the shop to help you accomplish that. The links will be in the description box. Secondly, I did another VR to Lise at She Walks in Beauty, and the hashtag was "What's in a Name?" So this video was kind of a twofold for me. There was a deep discussion about grief and healing with the tarot, and that is because Project Refined Life actually comes from that, from me dealing with grief and with healing, and tarot is one of the avenues that I have found to navigate my grief. There's a lot of things that have gone on this month, and I was really triggered at one point, so that VR came as a result of the things that triggered me this month. So I just want to say that I truly appreciate all the love and support for everybody who reached out and commented through that video. And for most of all, like, there was some real vulnerability on your part within your responses. So I truly, truly appreciate you and taking the time to hear me on this topic and taking the time to respond. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I appreciate you so much. Books. Okay, so I browsed through a lot of books this month, but I only truly read one book in its entirety, which is The House of the Spirits by Isabel Allende. Now, I'm pausing, right? Okay, let me start by saying that this novel has been translated into 37 different languages, and it is a very important part of Latin American literature. It is a magical realism book or story that follows 4 generations of women in post-colonial Chile. What makes this book very interesting is that it is told through 2 voices, that of the narrator and of the main patriarch of the story. And I am so thankful that there was the 2 voices in this story, because I really disliked the main character of the story. I really disliked him. Now, I know that these were very true writings of what was going on at that time, and to be honest, what still goes on in many areas of the world, and just the way that people were treated and the way that women and young girls were treated and the things that they had to endure. It was very upsetting to me in many areas of the book. So I'm not going to get into all the details. If you're interested in reading the book, it's a good book. But if you're interested in reading the book, I suggest that you do several searches and check out some reviews, because it speaks truthfully of what happened during those times and in those circumstances. It gets into very personal matters, both personal and political matters. Just keep in mind that this book was released back in 1982. As important as this book is for Latin authors and literature, this book is so full of triggers on so many levels. I found myself sad. I found myself upset. I really disliked the main character. It was upsetting overall, but very good. I was intrigued the entire time. Just read a lot of reviews if you're interested in this book. Journal. Okay, so for my journal, I have to be honest, this was not a good journal month for me. This just was not. I have this little section here. I kind of like outlined it because I was like, wow, that is really not too many pages here. This is May, and then we have June right here. This is it. These are the only pages that I did in May. Now, I was consistent with drawing my cards. I was consistent with my readings, but I was not consistent with journaling. I don't know why. I don't have any logical explanation. I just didn't do much journaling this month. Let's get to some of the fun stuff here, okay? So, tools. My husband bought me this beautiful Brandberg amethyst from James at Light of Raga. And I know that you probably cannot appreciate the beautiful depth of this particular crystal with the conditions that we have here. It's a combination of amethyst and clear quartz, but this baby also includes like this showering of hematite in there. I don't know if I can capture it. Oh, there you go. I think you can see some of it right in there. And it is just gorgeous. It has the brown parts down at the bottom, that's smoky quartz down in there. So it is just beautiful, and it's so clear. This thing is just beautiful. Now, in addition to my husband buying me that beautiful Brandberg amethyst, I went ahead and I just kind of kept going with my purchases this month. So James also shared this beautiful amethyst cluster, and I know, again, you can't really see the depth and the beauty of this particular amethyst, but it has like this frosty, druzy thing going on top of the cluster. Now, when he showed it on Instagram, I saw this, and of course he was showing it in the sunlight so you could see the beautiful frostiness of this, but then he turned it around. And you see that? That is called an eye. Oh my gosh, guys. I just about went bananas. The price was incredible, and I was like, guys, I'm grabbing that thing quick because I really like it. I know what this crystal does. Amazing. I am so jazzed about this one. It is a protector. It balances your physical and emotional and mental. It opens up your crown chakra. It brings in spiritual awareness and wisdom. And then this right here, it just opens up that third eye as well. Just amazing. It clears and repairs the auric field and helps with self-esteem, meditation, spirit contact, and spirituality. This thing is so freaking pretty, guys. Seriously. Okay, next is this little drum right here. I found this drum at a Mexican import store in Bisbee. Now, this drum was actually sitting back in the toy section. I couldn't believe it. I picked it up and I took it to the cashier and she said, "Oh, yeah, you found that, huh?" That particular drum is made by the Tarahumara people from Copper Canyon, located in Chihuahua, Mexico. I was like, oh my gosh, absolutely, yes, I want it. I already wanted it, but then when she told me that, my mom's side of the family is from Chihuahua, and she actually visited the Copper Canyon and talked to me about the healing that she received from the hot springs and just the overall feeling of the Copper Canyon. And she talked to me about the Tarahumara people that live there. She had a wonderful experience there. So when I saw this and she told me that, I was like, heck yeah, Mom, come on, let's get in the car and go. So that is my little drum. And I love the size of it because I can take it with me everywhere. We were walking down the street in Bisbee, and across the street in a vacant lot, there were some street vendors, and I thought, what's over there? So we ran across the street and I found this crystal skull. Now, I have been looking for a cluster like this with the carvings of a crystal skull for quite some time and just haven't found one that I liked. And there he was, guys. He was just sitting there. I don't know if he's for me or not yet, but I couldn't resist him. Just so cool. But then this guy appeared, and this is just amazing. Look at all that. Oh my goodness, it looks like he's wearing a headdress. I just could not believe that I found this little piece from a street vendor on the side of a road in Bisbee. Just amazing. And he also came along with this nice little wooden stand, so I can place him on the wooden stand on my altar. Anyhow, so I found another little shop in Bisbee. I kind of overdid it, guys. I kind of overdid it with my spending on tools this last month. I walked into a shop in Bisbee called Destino, and I found this. They have all kinds of Mexican imports. Remember, they are close to the Mexican border, and the owners of the shops frequent Mexico and go into Chiapas and Oaxaca to gather up some goods and bring it to the store. As you can tell, I have burned incense in here, but primarily I just kind of put a candle in here and burn the candle. But I can put incense in here, I can smudge out my sage bundles, any number of things, but I really, really liked it once I saw this. Next, I got this cool bookmark from them, and this is hand-painted, one-of-a-kind bookmark from crafters in Oaxaca, Mexico. Absolutely beautiful. And then last thing that I got from them was this Virgen de Guadalupe. And this is from a father and daughter team in Chiapas that hand carved this and painted it. Just gorgeous. I believe that the wood came from a house that they were tearing down, and they got the wood and recycled it and started making a few of these. So she had like 3 little virgin statues. This was the smallest, and I thought, if I can only get one, it's got to be at least the small one so I can take it home, because I had already spent quite a bit this month. Now, from my friends Tara and James over at Desert Cauldron, I got this Spirit Rising herbal blend, and this has been really, really good. Look at that, guys. Now, my friend Tara has listed several ways that you can use this herbal blend. I personally have only been using it in candles, dressing candles, and using it on charcoal disc, but it has really been amazing. It has mullein, mugwort, lavender, rose petals, and barberry, which is uva arsa. So this is a really good little deal, and it is on their Etsy shop if you are interested in it. And the thing that I am most excited about this month is this wand right here. Oh my gosh, guys. So Tara comes into yoga class one Saturday morning and just brings this out of her bag. She does this to me. She just brings things out of her bag and says, look at what I have here, Annette. But the truth is, I was looking at their site like a week or two before that for a special wand. She walked in with this and I was like, oh, yes, give me that. So this is made of deer bone, and this is leather, and this is a Brazilian crystal quartz point. Guys, this thing is just beautiful. It measures over 11 inches. Everything is ethically sourced, and this is a naturally shed leg bone from a deer. It is gorgeous. So I'm going to read from their website because I think they have another one similar to this listed on their site. Reminds us to awaken our ignition, stay focused in the present, and ground ourselves as to an act of self-love. This particular deer leg bone has not been sun-bleached or cleaned with any chemicals. Mother Nature's insect allies helped clean this bone, leaving it with a beautiful dark color. When deer medicine mixes with the high vibe crown chakra energy of the Brazilian quartz, you have an excellent combo of laser-like energy. I have been working with it and it is just awesome. I am in love with this thing. Okay, decks. This is the reason we're all here, right? So you heard me talk about all this stuff just so that you could get to the decks. I know, it's okay. I do the same thing. So these are the decks that are new to my collection this month. The Wandering Moon Tarot, the Wolfe Tarot, and the White Owl Mystic Arcana Oracle deck. I have done a full walkthrough of the Wandering Moon. I have done a walkthrough of the White Owl Mystic Arcana, but I don't know if this will be up before or after this video post. I have not done a walkthrough of the Wolfe. There are quite a few walkthroughs on YouTube that are quite amazing. So I'm not quite sure if I'm going to be doing a walkthrough of this deck or not. Let's get into the decks that I used and paired up for the month. So May brought in Beltane. So of course I used Seasons of the Witch, Beltane Oracle. There are a lot of walkthroughs of Seasons of the Witch, Beltane Oracle. I'll just pull a few cards out. Of course, it's a little glossy. These are the backs. It has these beautiful gold edging on it. And the art is really, really pretty. But it is, well, for me in my collection, there's only a couple of decks that really matched up with this particular deck. And I'm sorry for the fan and the reflection, but it is at night. Everybody went to bed. This is my only opportunity to record since it is summer break. So I'm taking the time as I can get it. So this is the Asherah Tarot, and this is the lovely Om Tarot. Each of these tarot decks with very separate energies, very different energies, but they really did match the art style of the Seasons of the Witch Beltane Oracle. But as you can see, they all kind of mesh together. So let me just put some of these together for you. These are pretty nice. I liked these together. And this has more of a softer energy, and the Beltane, it is a little fiery, or just a little bit more energetic than the lovely Om. So for that reason, I did kind of like the Asherah Tarot with this Beltane Oracle a little bit more. If you have the Beltane Oracle, let me know what you paired it up with, but I did like it with the Asherah. It did work very well together, and I am still getting to know the Asherah Tarot It is a newer deck to my collection, but I am really enjoying working with it. So there we go. We have the Seasons of the Witch Beltane Oracle, the lovely Ohm Tarot, and the Asherah Tarot. One of my other pairings was the Wandering Moon Tarot, along with the Practical Magic Inner Witch Oracle. Now, I mentioned this pairing in my walkthrough of the Wandering Moon Tarot, and I did like them together, but I would like to work with some other oracle decks with this particular tarot deck, because I feel like there's another match that is better for this deck than the Practical Magic deck. They worked well together, but I just feel that there's a better match for these two. Now, the Practical Witch Inner, or Practical Magic Inner Witch Oracle, they just finished up, Grounded by the Moon just finished up a Kickstarter, and I did order the tarot deck, so that will be a lot of fun to get, because Practical Magic is one of my favorites. I love that movie. So as you can see, they do work together, just not what I was hoping for as far as a matchup, but they work. For a few of my Soul Care Sundays, I did use the Self-Love Tarot, and this is just a gorgeous deck. I do have a walkthrough of this deck, and I really, do I have a walkthrough? I don't know. I know that I mentioned it in one of my videos, but I really do enjoy this deck. It is a very loving and gentle deck, which I really did need a few times this month. So that was the Self-Love Tarot. Okay, now as I had mentioned, things got a little rough for me this month as far as my whole emotions and feelings were concerned. So I always turn to the Gentle Tarot. I love this deck. Now this is the linen edition. The cards are a little smaller. The cardstock is extremely different than the full-size version, but you have everything of the full-size version as far as the art is concerned and the back art is concerned, but it does have this really beautiful finish on the cards. It's this linen finish on it, and this deck I can just carry around with me anywhere. It went with me on our little trip, and like I said, I really needed this deck this month. I really did. I love this little deck. Now, some of the things that I paired it up with were the Earthbound Oracle, and you may think, well, that's a weird pairing, but these two work really well together. I'm just going to kind of put them off to the side so you can see them together. They communicate very well together. The Earthbound Oracle does not come with a guidebook, but they read really well together. So again, I use the Oracle as my focus, and then I use 2 cards out of the Gentle Tarot for my overall message, and I'm being really messy with my cards here, so excuse the mess. Oh my goodness, see? I say it and then it gets worse. But these two just work so well together. Oh, that card, I just love that card. All right, so that was the Earthbound Oracle and the Gentle Tarot. One of my other pairings with the Gentle Tarot was, again, I'm making another mess. I'm trying to be quiet because people are asleep, is the Prairie Majesty Oracle. This is available in mass market edition now. This is such a gorgeous deck, and these two pair up so nicely. The art styles are different, but the writing of both of these creators is just so gorgeous. Now, we're going to have a dream come true here, guys, because if you're familiar with the Prairie Majesty Oracle, she's really a kind soul. When she was running her Kickstarter on this deck, she offered some of these decks up at a discount for people who couldn't afford the full pop. And I just thought that was so sweet. But I don't know if she's on Instagram still or not, but she's just a sweet individual. I really like her. But these two creators are teaming up. So Kara had a deck called the Grandmother Oracle, and she is redoing or revising the deck, and Mari is going to be doing all of the art for the deck, and it is coming along, and I am just loving it. I mean, how can it get better than that? These two creators combined into one oracle. I cannot wait. So that is the Gentle Tarot and the Prairie Majesty Oracle deck. Okay, now the next pairing was the Gentle Tarot and Roots and Wings Oracle. Now, Roots and Wings and the Gentle Tarot are so gorgeous together. You have a lot of this animal energy and beautiful earthly grounding within both of these decks. But what I like about both of these decks is that although they're both gentle, they're both kind, you know what these two remind me of? These two remind me of having my sister close by and talking to me, because my sister is loving and caring and just a beautiful soul, but she can be not extremely, but she can be direct to the point like, girl, you're not doing this right, or you know what, Annette, you're just wrong there. You know, like, you need to rethink that. You need to really take this into consideration. And that's what these decks are. This is like having my sister right here in the room with me every single morning, just giving me the hard truth of the matter. And in a gentle way, not mean, but in a gentle way. The Gentle Tarot is just so much to me. It's beautiful and gentle, but it is truthful with you. So that is one of the things that I love about the Gentle Tarot. And then the Roots and Wings kind of blends that beautiful, loving honesty and magic all together. So the last deck, the Gentle Tarot, as you can tell, I worked with it with a lot of decks. And so that was a deck that really stayed as one of the main decks for the month of May. But this is the other decks that I was working with a lot throughout this month. The Wolfe Tarot and the White Owl Mystic Arcana. I have to tell you that I'm still not quite done working with these two. I really like them. I don't want to give them up, and I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm just going to keep on working with these two. I am just digging the energy of these two together. Now, I know I'm supposed to be doing my full Thoth study, but I'm kind of stuck here. I kind of like this. And, you know, this deck, the Wolfe, it is a Thoth-based deck, but it does have some nods to the Rider-Waite-Smith. I've really been enjoying these two together, the way that these work together. Oh my goodness, you guys, it is so good. I really, really like these two together. I was considering ordering her astrology deck that she has. I think it's Celestial Bodies or something. And I still might in time. But for now, I'm really enjoying these two decks together. These speak so well with one another. There are short little messages on the guidebook with this deck, and you can expand on that by just kind of digging deeper into the artwork, or you can just keep it brief and keep that as your main focus of the reading, which is what I've been doing. I love my 3-card spread, so this is my main focus, and then I draw 2 of the Wolfe, and I gather my message that way. This deck is, and I put it in one of my other videos. This is a beautiful celestial type water energy deck for me, and it is just gorgeous. I am just digging the energies of both the Serpent Fire and the Wolfe. I don't like one over the other, I don't think. But they're really working well together. I really like this. And like I said, we're in June and I'm not done. I still need to keep working with these two because these are really hitting home for me. So that was the Wolfe and the White Owl Mystic. So that is my May 2022 wrap up. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I wish you a day filled with love, joy, and happiness from my heart to yours. I will see you later.